Welcome to Nalla Narasimha Reddy Education Society's group of institutions integrated campus, Structural Engineering 1, Reinforcement Concrete. I am Dr. Imai Babu, Professor, Department of Civil Engineering. In previous videos, I explained about types of footings and wall foundations, how to design wall footings. Now column footings, how to design column footings. There are different type of columns, isolated columns, square columns, circular columns, and combined footings, combined columns. Different shapes of columns are there. Generally, square footings or square columns or rectangular columns will be there. For isolated footing columns, square footings design, and for rectangular footings design. And there are two types of footings. One is plain, one is sloped. I will explain how to design these footings, isolated footings. See, RCC columns generally supported by foundation, that is footing structure, which are located below the ground level, and they are called as footings. What is the purpose of footing? To support the upper structure, that is above structure, to transfer the loads and movements safely to subsoil. What is the main purpose is to transfer from the load to top. See, if you see here, if you see whatever it may be, say suppose this building, say, okay, say this is our columns, okay, these will be a curve ultimately on the side, okay. These columns will be supported to transfer the load from the building. Suppose from the load from the building, whatever the load comes through building, so that will transfer to the footing, okay. So this is the, say, footing, so total load will be transferred to the footing. See, this is say flat footing. See, this is the ultimate load transfer from the top to, and not only loads and safely movements also transfer to the side. Footings are designed to resist bending movement as shear forces develop due to the reaction of the soil. Due to reaction, how to find the reaction of soil? Because we will find with the SBC of soil, safe bearing capacity of soil. These are different types of footings. If you see here, this is a isolated footing, that is tetrahedral shaped footing, and these are also rectangular footing. This is a circular footing. This is combined footing and combined strap footings. The strap beam footing, okay. Wherever not possible total area, we'll have a connective between two footings to have. This is a mat footing. This is generally wherever columns are near, we will follow this mat footing, and also whenever weak soil is there, we'll go for mat footing. These are different type of foundations: isolated footings, combined footings, and strap footings and mat footings. If soil is sandy soil, we'll go for pile foundations. Okay, these are different types of footings. Now, design of isolated footing. How to design isolated footings? See, generally, as I explained, load will transfer from top floor to top slab to the beams, beams to columns, columns to footings. Now, foundation structure should sustain the applied loads, movement, forces, and induce reactions without exceeding the safe bearing capacity of the soil. So foundation of the structure sustain, it will retain all the loads which will come from top to the bottom. This foundation structure sustain the what applied loads from the top of the slab, from the top floor to the bottom, movements and forces and induced reactions without exceeding the safe bearing capacity of the soil, and induced reactions without exceeding safe bearing capacity of soil. Okay, so this reaction without exceeding whatever the safe bearing of soil. So for weak soils, the safe bearing capacity will be less, and strong and morum soils or rock soils, the safe bearing capacity will be more. So depend upon soil, we have to design the foundation, because these foundation structures sustain the upland load and movement forces. The settlement of the structure should be as uniform, that is uniform as possible as it should be within tolerable limits. See, if you see this one, see here, your foundation will be like this, almost uniform. Here you will have uniform load, okay, under the footing. Here if you have uniform load bearing capacity, that load will act on the footing, right? This is one of the important point that we are assuming. And isolated footings are used when the soil is has sufficient strength within a depth below the ground level. They need sufficient plan area to transfer heavy loads to the base soil. Whenever soil is good, that is hard soil or hard rock, hard morum, that isolated footings are very useful, and they need sufficient plan area, and they will transfer, it will transfer the heavy loads to the base soil. Now, these are some of the example of isolated footings. Here, if you see, this is isolated footing constant thickness. This is uniform thickness, right? This is uniform thickness. Isolated footing with constant footing. Isolated footing with step. See, as the shear and movement, yeah, movement as explained in the wall footings will act from the base surface face of the footing. From here, we'll calculate the this area. This area is bending moment. Here, this is, we consider for, here this is area is for bending moment, right? This is the area here bending moment, right? So this from the face of this column, right? Not this is column, this is the column. Okay, this is bending moment. Here we are going to calculate. So that's why here to reduce the bending moment, here it will be more, it will be less. That's why here bending traces will be more, and this step to footing is followed. Whereas in this one, uniform footing. This is the cross section of the beam. Here is column. If you see here column sections, it may be square or circular or rectangular. It may be also square, rectangular, and circular. And this plan, it may be square and circular or rectangular. Like that, this is the plan of the footing. This is the plan of the footing, right? So you understand well what is isolated footing with constant thickness and stepped footing. These are two important, and one more is trapezoidal. Okay, if you see this one here, eyes just like cantilever. If you see here, this is the slope footings. Okay, the footing very thickness because your movement, if you see, this movement will vary from year to year. That's why year movement will be less, like year movement will be more. That's why at this section thickness will be more and ice decreases. It's just like cantilever design. How is cantilever design? You know very well. Say this is, for example, a cantilever. What we'll do in cantilever? See, suppose this is a cantilever. Okay, this is, we will design like this. Okay, similarly sloped. This is a reverse cantilever which will act on the from the soil. So this is reverse. Here soil will go under pressure like this. Okay, so as this is a reverse, so here moment will be very less, zero, and as it comes like this, here moment vary with thickness. Okay, so that's why here we will provide, will calculate movement here and will provide more thickness and will provide steel like that. This is a reverse, and this is the plan of isolated footing. If you see, this is isolated. So here we'll consider effect area will be like this. We'll calculate this length, thickness in calculation of LB. Instead of here LB or AB, AA, here this in between this one, okay, this length and this length average you will get at middle. This is given and we calculate the movements. See, these are very important types of footings, uh, and I will explain details in next video. Thank you all. I will end this session.